and welcome to the Webcast for Monday, July 7th. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. We have a pretty deep marine layer in place this morning, especially across the central coast, as an offshore area of cut-off low pressure is having an impact on our weather today. These clouds will burn back, but it will take time, and some of the central coast beaches may struggle to clear it all today. Otherwise, across the interior, it will be another day with plenty of sunshine. Water vapor satellite shows that well-defined cutoff low off the San Francisco Bay Area coastline, and that's helping bring our deep marine influence today. It's less evident here, but high pressure is beginning to develop over the desert southwest, and the coming days will be a bit of a battle between those two features, but in the end, the high pressure will ultimately win out. For today, though, that cutoff low was going to keep any significant heat at bay. It's still a seasonably warm to very warm day across much of the interior, with the valleys well into the upper 80s and 90s and triple digits in the deserts, but coastal areas and especially the central coast will be much cooler. As we look to the days ahead, that ridge over the desert southwest is going to strengthen significantly and expand in our direction. As it does so, it's going to force that cutoff low backwards offshore, and then that cutoff low will ultimately rejoin the main jet stream and pass well off to our north and east as it rejoins the main flow. And from there, it's going to be that area of high pressure that dominates our weather all through the rest of this week and into the weekend, likely even into next week as well. The strengthening high will bring significant warming to the region. Here's a look at the forecast highs by the time we get to Thursday. Steady warming will occur from Tuesday through Thursday. This will be followed by some cooling over Southern California late this week, but continued slight warming over Central California into the weekend. Overall, temperatures will be 5 to 15 degrees above normal Tuesday through the weekend, with 80s to low 90s across the lower mountains, mid-90s to 105 degrees in the valleys, 100 to 110 in the high desert, and 108 to 118 in the low desert. It is noteworthy, however, that these values are actually a good deal below where some projections from last week had placed them. This is a direct result of that more robust than expected cutoff low pressure area greatly diminishing the strength of the ridge relative to what it looked like last week. On the left-hand side here is a model projection from last week for the ridge this week, while on the right is the latest projection, which shows a much weaker ridge. Had the original projection come to fruition, temperatures likely would have been another 5 to 10 degrees hotter than what we'll be seeing. That's why we always talk about these cutoff lows frequently throwing a wrench into the forecast. This is a bit of a double-edged sword, however. Because the ridge we're getting is weaker than expected, it's also not going to draw any monsoonal moisture into the region. While this at least keeps any lightning at bay, it also promotes a drier air mass and prevents us from getting any beneficial moisture in the form of rain showers or even just higher RH. Instead, minimum humidity will be mainly in the single digits and teens above and inland from the marine layer influence through the upcoming weekend, with that marine layer becoming much shallower by later this week as we warm up. There will also be sizable areas of fair to poor recoveries away from the marine layer, with long burn windows expected. So while it's not as hot as it could be, the burn environment will still be quite volatile for much of this week. Winds will primarily follow typical local and diurnal trends over the next several days. There will be occasional breeziness in the typical wind-prone mountain and desert areas during the afternoon and evening hours. There will also likely be some sundowner winds over Santa Barbara County on Wednesday evening through at least Thursday evening. Heading into next week, temperatures are likely to remain near or above normal as high pressure remains dominant. While it's still early, current indications are for a better chance for monsoonal moisture to bring thunderstorms to portions of the region, at least by mid to late next week, as high pressure potentially becomes more centered near the Four Corners, which is a more favorable position for bringing moisture into the region. The hot weather this week will bring a significant drop in both the live and heavier dead fuel moistures, especially from Tuesday onwards. Significant fire potential may begin to extend higher in elevation and into heavier fuel types as drying occurs, though seasonably elevated live fuel moistures in Greenup do continue to be a mitigating factor, especially above about 5,000 feet. While lacking in single-day extreme heat, the upcoming long-duration hot and dry pattern will yield substantial fire potential concerns for the region. Persistent hot temperatures and dry conditions will promote very receptive fine fuels with high probabilities of ignition, yielding daily moderate to heavy initial attack. Terrain-aligned fires will tend to burn aggressively in the afternoon hours, especially from Tuesday onwards. Fair to poor overnight recoveries will yield long burn windows with potential for active burning into the overnight hours. While widespread strong winds are not expected this week, there will still be some diurnal breeziness, and as was seen with the Madre fire, even a modest wind in alignment with terrain can enhance the potential for rapid rates of spread on dry fuels. The region-wide significant fire probability may move into the high category later this week, or at the least will be at the top end of the elevated category. So overall, it will likely be a busy week and potentially more ahead. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. The next one will be on Tuesday, July 8th.